All right, it is time for the most challenging kind of video to make, and we are going to rank every song on the Clancy album according to my least favorite to my most favorite. So, if I say something you don't agree with, that's cool. Don't overthink it and just keep enjoying the song that you like. But hopefully what I say, especially about my favorite songs, helps you to enjoy them more. That's always been the goal of the Pop Song Professor, and it's been really fun to chat with you in this video and the last couple of videos about Clancy and 21 Pilots. I've got a couple of more videos that I owe you guys that'll come out in the future at some point. I don't really know when, and we'll just keep checking in. So let's talk about that. But first, the unofficial sponsor of this video is me. Actually, wait, I make the calls and I'm the sponsor. I guess it's the official. I'm the official sponsor because I've got two other projects that I'm working on that I really, love you guys to go and check out. One is College Hacked, my other YouTube channel. It's a tiny little YouTube channel compared to this one, but it has a big impact on the people who watch it. People who need a college degree, whether they're in high school or in college or they're in their 30s or their 60s. People who need a degree to go get a job that they like so that they can change the world in their special way. And I help them by getting them graduated quickly and inexpensively. We're talking like in under a year in some cases, and for around $6,000 to $8,000 from legitimate accredited schools. We've been able to help hundreds of people. We have literally saved people millions of dollars at this point, and hundreds of years worth of lifetimes. And it's so big, it's so rewarding, and it's just awesome to be part of. So if that can help you, I'd love for you to check it out. The other project is I've started a literary/fiction newsletter, kind of nerdy, but it's a lot of fun, called Pass the Dragon. Both the links for these will be in the description. You can go check them both out. And on this newsletter, I write about what it means to be sci-fi, to be fantasy fiction, and what it means to be really good versions of those things that make people's minds explode and their lives grow. I also try writing fiction on those. I've got this novel that I've been working on. I've got a long short story that I'll be posting soon about this guy who travels across a deserted Las Vegas in the middle of the summer, which actually, yeah, it's the middle of the summer right now. What's the weather here? It's 101 degrees. It's going to be 108 today, and I'm in a shed with AC that doesn't work very well and that I have to turn off when I'm filming videos, otherwise the sound quality is bad. And I am dying. It is so hot in here. Anyway, my character goes through much, much worse and has to go and find this sort of like holy grail, this thing at the end of his journey in the middle of the summer. If that sounds interesting to you, it's kind of sci-fi-ish, kind of speculative. I hope you check it out. But back to the meat of what you came here for. My least favorite song from Clancy was Vignette. And I think that they'll never ever sound more like Coldplay than they sounded in this song, particularly in the intro. But the lyrics just weren't doing it for me, and the rest of the music just feels, it's not as satisfying as I want it to be. I don't like the word zombie in lyrics, so you can see how petty I'm being here. And then the chanting bridge thing just didn't really do it for me. Like musically, I don't want to listen to the song, sorry. And I feel like the lyrics are so esoteric and vague that there's not really enough to grab onto to be invested in whatever story is happening. Then we have Overcompensate, and I feel like a lot of people are going to like Overcompensate, and I think I'll like it more when I go to the Las Vegas concert that's happening later this year and listen to it then, because it sounds like the kind of song that you open up a concert with, and I think it'll be really exciting musically, and it'll be super hype, and that'll be great. But like listening to it in itself, there's a little bit too much lore in there for me. Like, I want a song, I don't want a backstory. And then there's a lot of like self-aggrandizement. Earn my stripes, 300 tracks in my Adidas track jacket. Bless your ear holes while you react, acting gobsmacked. Don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate. I don't know. It felt too much about, well, then he says, I am Clancy. And it's like, okay, but you're also Tyler Joseph. And the relationship there wasn't clear enough, and I just didn't feel like I could get invested in the character of who was singing it because I just didn't know who they were. Musically, though, very fun, very exciting, and I think it's going to be great in concert. I almost can guarantee you it's going to be the lead song in the concert, because like, wasn't Jumpsuit the lead after Trench came out? And this has the same kind of energy as Jumpsuit. And you can see where a lot of my rankings on this really are based on my personal preference and what I'm looking for, not on the quality of the track, because I'm sure there's some people out there who would say that Overcompensate is one of the best produced songs on the album, right? But my next least favorite is Routines in the Night. I thought this song was really well put together. I thought it had a very clear idea. The imagery, this idea of like, while the world's asleep, I walk around instead through the memories down the halls of my head. I see these doors that are stay out, spray painted in white. That was all really compact and tight. I think there's some good storytelling in here, but musically it was kind of muted, and there wasn't enough of like okay, I try to have really high standards for lyrics, but I'm a complete bozo when it comes to the music. Like, that was the whole thing with the Pop Song Professor, right? Is I wanted songs that were deep and sounded cool. And I feel like when I get to a song that's maybe a little more complicated musically or has something more to offer, I'm kind of a goober and don't really know what I'm seeing. So Routines in the Night is one of the songs where I feel like there's probably something really cool going on here musically that I don't get, but there wasn't enough of a hook there for me to get excited about it. And lyrically, it expressed the feeling really well, but it just wasn't a feeling that I wanted to live in for super long. So it's kind of like a song you go back to when you're feeling really down, and I'm just too busy with all of my kids. There's only 2 of them, and everything else going on to spend the time to soak this song in the way that it probably deserves. Next least favorite, At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. And this song, it's like I have this love-hate relationship with it, because the very first time I heard it, I was like, is that carnival clown music? And then I kept listening and I was like, okay, it's kind of catchy, it's kind of cool, but I always have like this little reservation, like if I were to put this as my favorite song, would people think I was less cool if I was bumping it in the parking lot? Probably. That's not a reason not to like a song though, so I should like it, but musically I didn't really know what we were trying to accomplish. The concept, I think, is very tightly put together, very great idea of, check on your friends. I don't want anyone, know me or not, to see me at my lowest. You don't have to drop. You don't have to drop by, right? You don't have to check on me. I'll be okay. When that's probably not true. And I think that's really, really neat. But I felt like we went too far in the other direction. Some of these songs are so esoteric and vague that you don't understand what's going on. And this one just felt maybe too obvious, which I know makes me sound really hard to please. And to an extent, that's kind of true. And you can call me a hypocrite. That's fair. I'm a hypocrite on a lot of things. So there's that. But yeah, I felt like this song gave it to me too easy. When I'm playing Sudoku, I don't want to play level 1 because I don't feel smart for solving a level 1 Sudoku puzzle, but I also don't want to do level 5 because I'm not going to be able to solve it without cheating, and then I'm going to feel dumb. Like, I want a level 3 Sudoku, and so my personal preference was not necessarily for this song, even though I think it has the most opportunity of any song lower ranking here to grow on me and for me to really like. And I think, the first time I heard it musically, I wasn't that excited about it. But now, it's like, okay, I want something that's kind of unique and weird and different. And I look at the album and the track list and I say, okay, well, I'm going to go listen to this song now because that checks that box. So Oldie Station is the next song. Direct lyricism, the music, the vocals, I thought were really cool. I felt like that song above many of them, I felt like Tyler Joseph was talking to me, the audience. And I really liked the chorus. Make an oath and make mistakes. Start a streak you're bound to break. When darkness rolls on you, push on through, push on through. Musically, I don't think the song is anything super, super special, but I think that chorus is powerful, and I'm hoping that I'll get the chance to sing that at the concert here in Vegas in August. That's a great chorus. That's a great line. And I think we've kind of crossed into, I think At the Risk of Feeling Dumb was sort of the halfway mark as far as like, I don't really prefer the song. I don't really prefer this song. I feel kind of neutral about the song. I could go either way. And now I think we're into the positives already. And Oldie Station is I do like that. Yeah, I think that's cool. And then we have Snap Back. I really like the clever little lyricism here. If I'm going to snap next, then I got to snap back. And while you've got Tyler Joseph using himself as the character in this song, and I can't put myself into the shoes of somebody who's trying to get people to wave with him at a concert. I'd rather hear him talk about something else. I'm not really interested in that storyline per se, but I really appreciated the emotionalism behind this and the honesty and the transparency. Got a bad feeling that I'm about to break. Been a good streak, but the pressure's overweight. Is it even good for my head to keep track? As, the struggle, even references super specifically, running from a thing that I kicked in 17, this addiction, like I talked about on the last video. I think that's so direct and clear, and it's so interesting, and it makes me really enjoy the song from a lyrical perspective, and musically I think it's very fun. You can't talk about Snapback without talking about Backslide, because as I mentioned in the last video again, they're both basically the same song lyrically. Snapback, I got to get back to it. Backslide, he's going the other direction. I'm backsliding into the bad thing. And in this rat race, place to place, adding weight, tendencies on repeat, benefit from a shoe with no lace. Like, I'm just going nowhere. In fact, I'm going backwards. I don't want to backslide to where I've started from. There's no chance I will shake this again. And I just think with this one, it was emotional. It was real. It was self-reflective. I felt the pain in there. It was heartbreaking. And I think Backslide is a pretty cool song. Musically, there wasn't, again, as much for me to catch on to or to really enjoy or like for somebody who's not musically trained like me to find super memorable, but the lyrics more than made up for that. And at sixth favorite, we have Paladin Strait. The power of friendship, I think, is a big theme in this one. Musically, and I'm not really paying attention to the last like 30 seconds of it, more just like the song proper. Musically, it was very calm and it was very chill. I think the lyric video or the stand-in music video that they have up right now, where he's just like sitting there looking out across the ocean or the strait, playing the ukulele, doing his thing, I think that fits it so well because that's what this song does for me too. Like, it's just a calm, reflective song that gets the emotion through. And we're going to this theme again of, if you, my friend, are there as a visual aid, if I have somebody that I'm swimming to instead of just a place I want to be, then I can do it. And I think powerful imagery. It's kind of like At the Risk of Feeling Dumb, right, which is about being there for your friends. But because this one is less overt, I think the impact is way more powerful and we hear the emotion through it. It's so good. Navigating is good. It's just classic pop song making. There's a lot of elements to it that are musically fun, but there's nothing cutesy or tricky in navigating. There's the bridge. Since I responded to your question, if you really want to know what I'm thinking, kind of feels like everybody leaves, feeling the reality that everybody leaves. My dad just lost his mom. I think that everybody leaves. Pardon my delay. I'm navigating. My head, disassociate. It's compact. It's tight. It gets this feeling across. We're going somewhere. And it's also almost has this feeling of like somebody being stuck on the front of a moving car going down the highway, being like, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I'm trying to navigate, but I don't know what's going on and I can't stop. And everybody leaves. Like, all these things are inevitably going to happen and I'm stuck here on this ride, and the driving drums and the beat and everything that's pushing forward musically just complements it so well. Like, this is a really well put together song, and I feel the pain, I feel the desire, I feel the anguish, and it's super relatable and just it's a great song. At number 4, and basically every critic in the world is going to disagree with me on this one, and that's okay, because I think the general consensus is that Lavish is not a critically good song. Like, there are way better, like, I think Navigating is probably a better song than Lavish, but I just really like Lavish, and part of it is that I really like the music video. It's so much fun, like checking out these signs, and it feels so homemade, and they're goofing off, and I love the idea that they're putting small businesses locally and other signs in their kind of their hometown in their area, and all of this. It was really, really fun to feel like you were part of the silliness watching that music video. And then the song itself is, I mean, guys, it's a bop. Lyrically, it's probably a satire of the music industry and people who are living that lavish lifestyle kind of unnecessarily, which makes sense when you look at things from Tyler Joseph's perspective. He, instead of going to LA or somewhere where all the super famous, popular, rich musicians are, he stayed in one of the most boring states in our country, Ohio. And as we'll see in a later song, he doesn't mind so much. Actually, hold that thought. There might be more to that. But in Lavish, he instead is sipping a Capri Sun like it's Dom Perignon, and you get this idea that he stayed at home and is treating it like it's a big deal, and he's taking care of Columbus, and he likes Ohio, and to him, that's where the real riches are, I guess. The line, though, I see your problem is your proctologist got both hands on your shoulder while you're bottomless. If I was still doing worst lyrics of, that would be a pretty strong contender, because it's like he pulled up a rhyming dictionary and then just tried to make the rest of the line work. I don't know what's going on there. That is a very weird line. At number 3, we have The Craving. Heartbreaking, simple, beautiful. The ukulele that he performs it on, it's great. And this song is just so good, especially for me as a parent and a husband. What does he say? Seems I get in my own way. The more I think, the less I say. Yeah, the more you think, the less you probably will say, because you'll think better of it. But seems I get in my own way. I hope I communicate the craving. Now I see intentions don't mean much. Now I see the gesture don't mean much. That is something I've learned as a husband and as a parent, is like, you've got to follow through. and you got to think about the results and the effects. It's not the thought that counts anymore. Like, you're playing for real. When you're married to somebody, that is serious business. It's one of the greatest adventures you'll ever go on, but it's not time for half-assed measures. It is time to take things seriously. And this question of, did I let her know? Let her know. She wants to catch a wave. I hope that I can satiate the craving and just wanting the best for your spouse. And I get the feeling from this that he wants his spouse, Jenna, to feel like, you know, she hitched her boat to the right ship, and he wants to not lose the energy of pushing forward and making her feel that way. And yeah, this song is beautiful. It's really good. My second favorite album on this song, and I think a lot of people are going to like this one too, Next Semester. When I first saw the Overcompensate music video, I was a little bit worried. I was like, I think a lot of the things that I wasn't a super fan of in Scaled and Icy, they seem to be showing up in Overcompensate, right? Like these unnecessary references to the lore when I just want to hear a song. And again, a lot of this is personal preference. And it felt like, maybe this isn't my album. Maybe I'll have to wait till the next one. But then Next Semester came out, and I was like, what is going on? This is like such solid punk rock. And it's a taste test of what I hate less. Some really good rhyming and lyric writing. And then this story, like this very distinct story. If I remember certain things, what I was wearing, the yellow dashes in the street, I prayed those lights would take me home. Then I heard, hey kid, get out of the road, which is like, I don't really know how to put this into words, guys, but that's a super compelling story told in like, 6 lines and probably like 50 words. I mean, that says so much. Like, there's so much going on there. There's so much to think about. Just to dive into the chorus by itself is such a challenge and such an interesting look into Tyler's mind. I really like this song. It was fun. It was rocking. It was a good time. And there was a lot to think about in here. What is it really about? Question. And then this hopeful note of, can't change what you've done. Start fresh next semester. Like, yeah, no, you can't go back and change the past. That's just the way it works. But you can try again next time. And that is what so many of us need to hear, because we get so caught up on our failures and our losses, and we stop thinking about, well, you know, I've got another chance. I can come back and be a different person next semester. I can do a better job. I can get better grades. I can be nicer to my friends, whatever it is. And sometimes you just have to wait for that second chance. And yeah, just such a good song. I really like it. That brings us to my favorite song by a good bit. This song is Midwest Indigo. And it's not just because I'm planning to move back to the Midwest in the next year, but it's because the language in this is so good. Now, obviously, the music is solid. Like, I feel like it's got some Reliant K vibes in the upbeat rock, pop rock sort of effect. So good. The music keeps you moving through the song. Just can't say enough good about that. But lyrically, there are some images in here that I think are so good. Some of these images, I would rather listen to these 2 lines over and over again than listen to, you know, entire songs by some other artists. Well, first you've got this idea of Midwest Indigo, right? And the Midwest can be a very cold place in the winter, lots of snow and wind. And so reaching out on my way home, you can be so cold. And we have this idea of like traveling or driving somewhere. I'm coming, reaching out on my way home. That could maybe be like he's giving a phone call. You can be so cold, you're frozen, you're not answering. I'll try again. This is making me sad and second guess myself. You can be so cold. Midwest Indigo. Is he talking to the Midwest? Is that just a word thrown in to describe it? I think more of the latter. He says, running late, so I didn't have the time to scrape the frosted windshield like we're barely scraping by. If you've ever lived somewhere cold, you know what that's all about. In Vegas, we do not have this problem, as you can probably guess by just how gross I'm getting. Out here in my hot Las Vegas backyard shed. But in the Midwest or places where it snows, you have to scrape the ice off the windshield so you can see out, right? And then you have to take the time to defrost it. Otherwise, you'll get like a lot of fog and stuff showing up on the window and you can't see. And so this idea of concentrate on the little gap in the ice where you just scraped a little bit so you can kind of see through, or look on the edge, or the place where the heater is hitting the ice and melting it, that image just comes to life, and it's such good poetry writing. And that gap in the ice seems to be about as wide as our chances. So we're doing double duty with this image, where the image is saying something and then we're also comparing it to our chances. And then we move on to the pre-chorus. You know, there's kind of this discussion. Did you pull up yet? Did you forget we're tight on time? Which maintains that story that's being told through. I'm coming, I'm rushing, the window is iced over, I tried calling you, you're kind of cold, and this person who's talking to, did you forget we're tight on time? He's like, I'm sorry, and this person's kind of nagging him a little bit, they're cold to him, and he says, go back into the chorus, then verse 2, cloud coverage as he's driving along matched my outfit to a knife. Not really sure what he means by that, but I requested counsel with the counselor, and he canceled twice, so he's like, thinking about his life, things are tough. It's a different blue, it's deeper than it's been. Maybe that's the sky with the Midwest indigo. That makes sense. I'll be pulling into the parking lot before the heat kicks in. So even as I'm coming over, I'm still like freezing, which is totally what happens in the winter. And there's cloud coverage. It's gray. It's a little bit dark out. I'm into the place to meet you in the parking lot where I'm supposed to be before it even gets warm. And so this person's cold. I'm cold. And this Midwest indigo is just kind of seeping into everything. And yet at the same time, the music is, what is the line? The music is so something while the lyrics are so down. Sorry, this one's a contradiction because of how happy it sounds, but the lyrics are so down. Not today. And that's my favorite type of 21 Pilots song. And Midwest Indigo is that song. And it brings us back to that line. What's your ETA? Chill out, man. We're right on time. And he kind of stands up for himself a little bit. And I want love and sunny days. I'm a bit too cold to run away. You make me sad and second guess myself. You can be so cold. And it's just a beautiful, powerful song. So there you go. That is my ranking of 21 Pilots album Clancy. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Hope you got something out of this. I hope, more than anything, that it just helps you to enjoy some of these tracks on the album even better and to be like, oh yeah, like my relationship with that song is deeper now that I've heard Cliff talk about it. If that happens, mission accomplished, and thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you want help saving money on college, check out College Hack, link in the description. And if you'd like to join me to talk sci-fi, fantasy, and see some of the fiction that I'm trying to write, Pass the Dragon, my newsletter, is linked in the description as well, and I'd love for you to come check it out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you later.